everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we're going to get back to work on our old Oliver 550. So what we're going to do today is have a go at the back end of it. I've got this Oliver swinging drawbar assembly on here, and it's all loose and falling apart. You can see there the bolt holes are all wallowed out. I don't really even need this thing on here. This is from a time when they would have had, you know, still some old horse-drawn implements that they would pull with a tractor, right? I guess you could use it for doing some serious pulling, but I'm not really going to need it for any stuff like that. So I'm going to take that off, and then we're going to put a pair of remotes on the back. Right now, it's got the factory Oliver remote valve. They don't all have this. That's something that would have been dealer installed when the tractor is new. And they're just using it to run the loader. So what we're going to do here, you can see the return port on it is just plugged. So we're going to put a breakaway clamp on the back and a couple of remotes. Doesn't look like there's too much holding this thing on. There's a couple of nut and bolt up there at the front. And a pin there, and the whole thing should just drop off. I'll leave the belly bracket on it, so this could be reunited with the tractor, you know, any time you want, right? I may even look and see if there's some way I can come up with to use pins there instead of nuts and bolts. That would make things easier, wouldn't it? So this thing just dropped right out of there, and yes, no problem at all. I can, somewhere down the line, if I decide I need to use this drawbar, I can just make up a couple of short 5/8 pins. Now what we have to do is get the level box freed up. The usual thing, same job we're always having to do on the Fords. I can feel there that the gear case is okay, but it's seized here. So we're going to do the first thing. Sometimes you get lucky and you just grab it with a pair of vice grips and you can break it free and then work some oil into it. But, well, we'll see how this one is. So, yeah, just a little, just had to bust it free a little bit. We'll work some penetrant into there, and then we will replace the grease fitting and pump this full of grease. That's perfect. It works like it should now. Okay, you can see here it's a little higher than the other one now. We can raise it right up, and then we can lower it down. Good. Now what I have to deal with is this sway bar. This is something that somebody has made up. Normally a sway bar would go all the way down to here, so that, you know, everything moves in the same arc. With this being back here, it will kind of move the thing side to side a little bit as it goes through its travel, but you know what? Not much. So it can stay like that. I kind of like it. It's sort of interesting. But what I am going to do is take this thing right off, and we'll put it in the press and straighten it out, because you can see it's a little bent. All right, let's see what happens here. It's a 20-ton press. There it goes. And you got to take it just a little further and then let it go, and it should end up straight. Yeah, that's not bad. Now we'll test fit it and see if we need this much of a hook on the end of it, you know. That's actually all right. It actually needs a little bit of a bend on this end. So we'll go back to the press and do that. Yeah, that worked. Now the next thing I noticed is the pin that this thing runs on is loose. So we're going to have a look at that and see if we can fix that up. So there's the sway control link all fixed up. I had to drill out these pins so they would take normal 7/16 Lynch pins. That's all good. Now what I have to do is, you can see here on these arms, there's actual holders for the Lynch pins that have gotten all smashed up over the years. So I'm going to try and hammer a punch down through them and get them round again, so I can put my Lynch pins in there like they're supposed to be. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Let's see. Okay, there's that side. Let's see. Hey, we're fixing stuff like crazy here. Now what we're gonna do is start getting the hydraulic stuff on. So I think this bolt right here is where I'm gonna mount the breakaway clamp to. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I got it now, people. Alrighty, so there we are. I've got that bolt on with a nice grade 8 bolt, you know. And we're going to go ahead now and make sure our hoses, I got 3 footers. They should reach to there. They're going to go down under to there. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to take this hose off first. This is the up hose. We'll get that one hooked up to our coupler on the back, and then we'll do the down hose. Alrighty, so we've got the up hose, I guess we'll call it, on, and there's no way I can have the breakaway clamp bolted to there because the hose is going to interfere with everything. So we're going to make a little plate. We're going to make a little plate that picks up these 2 bolts and comes over here a bit to give us the space we need. We have to be aware of this stuff going up and down right beside them. But I think right about there will be perfect. So there we are. That's good. All right. So we got that all put together. We got the dust caps on it. Now we have a wet line on the back of the tractor. So my great invention here turned out to be a colossal failure for no reason other than that when it was there, if I turn this, it was going to hit it. But I have a new plan. Stand by. There we go. I put a little piece of angle iron in there and turned this thing 90 degrees. And now we got lots of room. We can adjust our leveling box without hitting anything. That's more better. All right, now it's time to get the loader off. So first thing we're going to do is get the bucket off, and that's easy enough. We just got to knock these 2 pins out, and the bucket will slide right out the front. Then we'll start taking off the cylinders and everything. Shouldn't be too difficult, I hope. Well, first things first, we got the bucket off. These jobs are always messy, but we're moving right along. Well, we managed to get this pin out, which is the important one because that allows us to remove the boom. This guy here, there's on the other side of the fender, there's a hair clip, and I just can't get it to move. I don't feel like taking the wheel off because it weighs about 600 pounds. But all that holds on is this little guy here. So once I pull the fender off, then we'll worry about dealing with that. Now while we wait for that other cylinder to drain, we can remove this manifold. Alrighty, with both pins out, the boom should now be free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the door and put all this crap outside so I've got room to jiggle this thing back because I got a funny feeling it's pretty heavy. Well, I was right. It's heavy. This thing ought to steer a lot better with all that crap off of it. Holy Toledo! We can also now see the utter devastation to the front end of all those years with that loader on it. She's pretty wiped out. But in time, if we decide we really, really like this thing and we want to fix it, you know, take it to the next level, that's all stuff that can be fixed. It's no big deal. If you remember back a couple of show and tell videos ago, we got this bumper at the auction for I think $4 or something. Perfect. I like it. It went right on. I just had to on the floor get in between the arms with my jackal, and spread them apart just a tiny bit. And once I did that, the thing went right on. That looks great on there. I like it. There we are. Fenders are off. I had to take the torch to most of the hardware. I didn't have to cut anything, just heat it up to get it off. Now we have to get, see, these were the pins I was trying to get off when it was inside there. And I just couldn't get a good whack at it. That is stuck in there pretty good. So we'll get those out, get our fender skins off of these brackets. And then, because the brackets go with the loader. All right, last thing we've done here is replace these two knobs. You can see it's a wood core with Bakelite and a steel insert. Very, very similar to a Ford knob. You can see it's got this little knurl around the edge. There's plenty of Ford sourced stuff on this, so, you know, maybe they got these from Ford too, but that's a lot nicer. It's not gonna gore me up when I'm trying to operate it. After pulling the loader and everything off, we're going to check our hydraulic fluid level. It's, let's see, full, perfect. And we're going to check the oil level in the gear case. This stuff is all going to get changed eventually, but for now, I got to get this thing out of here because I got something else coming in. So that is, I don't know if there's a dipstick on this or not, but this is the, here's the, where you get out the, this here is where you get out the transmission oil. Oh, that's just for putting it in, I guess. I think there's a, maybe there's a plug somewhere. Hang on. I think this is the level plug for the gear oil. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Whoops. Well, if that's a level plug, I'd say she's good and full. That stuff don't look too good though. Yeesh, yeesh. Well, I looked in the book, and this definitely is the level plug for the transmission. So we're going to pull this thing out and let this thing drain down and then try and figure out if it's full of water or not. I mean, the stuff doesn't look like a milkshake. It doesn't look great, but I've seen worse. So we'll just let this drain down and then see what happens. It is quite over full because I noticed that the breather is up here. It was pushing transmission oil out the breather. Well, no wonder. We'll get this fixed up, and we're going to clean the breathers too. Well, we've got pan number 2 under there, and it's still coming out strong. So, wow. I do have a jug of brand new fluid, so I kind of think now I've seen enough. That's kind of very, it's got a very rusty look to it. So once we're down to that level, I'm going to get underneath it, pull the plugs, and I guess we're going to dump this. I got to look in the book. Usually these tractors take exactly 5 gallons of oil, so I've got a brand new 5-gallon bucket of it. We'll see what we got to do. Here goes bucket number 3 under it. Well, it looks like it's finally slowing down a bit. Now what we're going to do, while we wait for that to finish, we're going to work on the filters. So the filters are under these little caps here. So I'll loosen this bolt and get the filter off, and I'll show you. They're quite interesting. It's the filter is just a piece of sintered bronze, I think, or no, it's fibrous. It's not heavy enough to be bronze. It's like some kind of compressed fiber. Eventually, these were superseded by a little paper filter, but I'm pretty sure we can clean this up. We'll clean it in solvent and blow it all out, and we'll reuse it again. There's one here for the transmission, and there's another one on top for the hydraulic reservoir. I kind of let this get away from me a little bit. Good thing I saw that. I came running over and put the plug back in it, or we'd have a really big mess on our hands. But I'm going to get these buckets drained now, and we'll, Cooper, that's not good stuff for dogs to get tangled with. And we'll start draining again. I have no idea how much oil is in this thing, but, well, there's a lot. Okay, so I can pull a plug out now. I got all my buckets emptied. I don't know how much more we're going to get out of here, but I've already filled one pail and half of another pail. And that's just to get us down to the level that it's supposed to be at. I've still got what's supposed to be in there to come out. Unbelievable. So here we go. There's 3 plugs underneath this thing to pull out, and we're going to get 5 more gallons of oil out of it. Let's see how much water comes out. Oh, not much at all, but it is watery looking. There's some water there. I need a rag fast. Here we go. Well, draining away. It's not easy to do this without making a big, huge mess, but we're not doing too bad. And then once these 2 finish, we'll go out and take the rear plug out of the bottom of the differential. Plug number 3 is out. So we're just going to let this thing sit and drain for as long as it wants. And then we'll put the new stuff in. And I can't wait to give you the final tally of how much oil I actually got out of this thing. While we wait, I guess I've got the breathers all cleaned up. We'll put them back in. And we'll go from there. So here they are. This is the transmission breather, and that's a hydraulic breather. It's a little bit smaller. So I got the plugs back in, and I'm ready to fill it back up. This thing was supposed to have 5 gallons of oil in it, and in the end, you can see here it had 12 and a half. Holy Toledo. No wonder it was puking it out the breather. So we'll be filling it up through this contraption. Unfortunately, because of that, whatever that is right inside the plug, it's hard to pour it like straight in without making a huge bloody mess. So we're going to have to use this goofy transmission funnel and, well, go from there. So that's all. Lucky we got lots of time. The original fill in these things was 10W30 motor oil with some kind of additive you got at the Oliver dealer, which you haven't been able to get for a long time. So everybody now just puts 80, 90 gear oil in them, and they're fine. So that's what we're going to put in this guy. There we go. She's full. Perfect. Now it's got 5 gallons of new stuff in it instead of 12 and a half gallons of, well, whatever was in it. All right, that part of it's all done. Now we have to change the hydraulic oil. There is 9 quarts of hydraulic oil in this, and it does not have a drain plug. How you drain it is you start the engine up and you pump it out into a jug. There's supposed to be 9 quarts, right? This jug is 10 liters, so 9 US quarts will easily fit into there. So we're going to do what they say. Wish me luck. This could get messy. Wonder if this thing will even go. It hasn't run in ages. Oh, we got to open the fuel. Hang on. Okay, fuel's open. Let's try it now. Not looking too promising, is it? Oh, it's starting up. A little bit of smoke. Oh, she's trying. She's trying. Come on, baby. Got to give the starter a rest, man. Anyway, it'll go. I'll be back when it's running. Okay, it says let it idle and pump till nothing else comes out. Okay, you can see it filling up the jug. So we'll just hold this valve open until it stops pumping. I'll be back. Man, once it starts, it runs good. No smoke, nothing. That's great. Now, we unscrew this cap here. And we're supposed to put in exactly 9 quarts, 9 US quarts, right, of oil. And it'll go down in there. So I'm going to decant that into something because I've only got it in a 5-gallon pail. And then we'll pour it in there and we should be good to go. So we're using the universal tractor fluid for this, and we're going to go by the imperial or the US quart markings. That's the scale on the left hand side. So we'll put in 5 and then we'll put in 4. And now that it's empty, we're going to change the hydraulic filter, which is in here. You think this will come off? Lucky you can still get this thing. It is one oddball filter. And it probably hasn't been changed in a very, very long time. It's similar to the material that the breathers were made out of. But we've got a new one from the dealer. Even though there's not really any Oliver dealers around anymore. They were absorbed in the Cockshut, White, all that stuff, which ended up Agco with Massey Ferguson. So if you go to a Massey Ferguson dealer, you can still get some, of these Oliver parts. Alrighty, everything's cleaned up. Put a little grease on the O-ring on the cap. It doesn't come with a new O-ring. Who knows where I'd even get one? In goes the spring. There's a little end cap for the filter that I just stuck on it with some grease so it'll stay there while I go like that. And now we could go stick this on the tractor, screw it down, and we'll be ready to put our new oil in. I put in the specified amount of fluid and it reads a little bit high, but of course we haven't started it up. I want to start it up, run it through its paces and see if the level goes down. We'll put the hitch up and down a couple times. There we are, just a hair above full. That's fine, no worries there. I'll grab a wrench now and snug that cap up. Well, that'll do it for this one. We got lots done. It's got a nice set of remotes on the back now. Every fluid is changed from front to back. All the filters are changed. I gave it a grease job while I was at it today, so it's all good to go. Next time you see this thing, it'll be nice and clean because tomorrow morning it's going out to get pressure washed. And then when we bring it back in here next, we're going to be rebuilding the steering box and redoing all the electrical complete. Anyway, that'll do it for now. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Hope you'll come back and see us again. And until then, I'm Kevin saying so long from the Claremont Classic Garage.